My thoughts. Thought Army. What up, y'all? Alright, this episode is going to be all about UFC. So if you don't like UFC, maybe don't listen to this one. There's just so many fights. I wish I could cover every card as they were approaching so I could break them down a little better, but they have so many fight cards coming up that it's hard to get a grip on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just break down all of the fight cards coming up in October and all the fights I think are interesting. And then I'll do it for every month. I'll just do November, December. But since all the fight cards and all the fights are released, there'll be changes, I'm sure. And I can address them in different episodes in a smaller way. But I'll do one big episode where I cover the fights coming up in the month. So, this is all about UFC. So again, if you're not a fan, and I might go into boxing and other MMA organizations and Glory Kickboxing at some point, but right now I'm just going to do the UFC. So, first off, thank you all very much for the support. I appreciate it. I can see things growing. My downloads are growing. My followers are growing. Everything. So, I appreciate that. Keep spreading the word. Keep going on iTunes. Rate, review, and subscribe. Really helps me out. Uploading episodes to YouTube. You'll find me there. Scott's Thoughts. Just look me up. iTunes. I'm on Stitcher. I need to get on SoundCloud. Any other podcast app you like. I use Podcast Addict on my Android. But talk to me. Go find me on Instagram. Scott's Thoughts Podcast. DM me. Comment. Let me know. Let me know what you're thinking. I need feedback. Kick me. Scott's Thoughts. Just like it's spelled. Snapchat. Scott's Thoughts, but it's THOTS. Haven't really got any traffic through there, so I'm sure that'll take time, but go to my website. It's linked on my Instagram. You can see more stuff, keep you updated with episodes. But like I said, this episode is all about the UFC fights coming up in October, so here we go. And I also hope that y'all are keeping up with y'all's 3-week challenge. I hope some of y'all are doing it and taking it seriously, and I'm sure y'all are doing very well. Keep it up. Once you get past this episode, it's going to get so much easier. Right now, if you're listening to this is the hardest point. Past this, it's only going up. So, keep going strong. But the first fight card is on October 7th. And there's no changes as far as I know. And it's Tony Ferguson, Kevin Lee. So the fights on that card that I think are interesting is obviously the headline, Ferguson versus Lee. The co-main event is Demetrius Johnson. He's fighting Ray Borg. They rescheduled it. Heavyweight, Verdum versus Derek Lewis. It's a really good fight. Van Zandt versus Jessica Ai. Walt Harris versus Mark Goodbeer. And then Bernil Dariush versus Evan Dunham. Damn, even the prelims, Will Brooks, Nick Lentz. I like that fight. Damn, Bobby Green's fighting Lando Venata. That's a prelim? Son of a bitch. Talis latest Brad Tavares is the Fight Pass. Alright, this card's pretty stacked. This has been a sleeper with all that Mayweather-Conor stuff, all UFC 217, all this John Jones. This one has slipped right under the radar. This is a good-ass card. Okay. My take, Tony Ferguson, Kevin Lee. I don't think Kevin Lee has the experience yet to get to Tony Ferguson's level. I see Tony Ferguson. I think the first round will be interesting, and I think as the fight goes on, Tony Ferguson's just going to do what he does best. El Kukui, just tear him apart. Kevin Lee's got a good shot. He's coming off that win against Chiesa that was, in quotes, controversial. And it can be. He didn't go to sleep, but it was in. But I've been in both sides. I've been caught in chokes, and you hold it out. I've choked people. It's either way. He got through Chiesa. It doesn't matter. Tony Ferguson. Let's see. I'm trying to look up his record and see what he's got going. I'm thinking of his last fights. He beat Dos Anjos. Beat Venata with the Darce choke. And Venata's fighting earlier in the card. Barboza, Thompson, T-Bout. He is crushing it. And that Khabib fight, might as well just let that one go. I don't see that one happening. Khabib is that's something else. But Kevin Lee, I know he had the Chiesa fight, and I'm trying to remember. He had Chiesa, Trinaldo. See, he doesn't have Efrain Escudero in there. It's just he doesn't have. I just feel like the experience is lacking, and I think Tony Ferguson, this is his time. And I think Conor McGregor should watch out, because if he comes back to lightweight and has to deal with Tony Ferguson, I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I'd like that fight a lot. Flyweight, Johnson, Ray Borg. I got to go with DJ. I like DJ. It's hard to not pick him. He's just so well-rounded. He's got everything. His fight, people give him so much shit, and that's frustrating. He's not a finisher. He's not this. He's got so many finishes. Horiguchi. He finished Benavidez. He finished Hayes. He didn't finish Bagutinov. Cejudo. He's got all these wins. Carriazo, that he's finished these people, and he's just done it in dominating fashion. The only fight we saw that was close since he's fought at flyweight was Tim Elliott, and that was a good-ass fight. But other than that, he's steamrolled, and he beats him anywhere he needs to. Bagutinov, grappler, wrestler, took care of him. Joseph Benavidez, well-rounded. Team alpha male guy, beat him. Wilson Hayes, ground, tapped him out. Ray Borg, he's a strong wrestler. I think he's got tenacity. I think the first few rounds, if he's going to take it, I see it as round one. He's just got to be very explosive and try to wear him down. That's the thing. Trying to get a hold of DJ is a lot easier said than done. But it should be a fun fight. I think people are sleeping on Ray Borg a little more than they should. But it should be fun. Verdum, Lewis. I got to pull for Derek Lewis just because I'm from Houston, H-Town. Swanging a baby. Swanging a banging on them hoes. He's a cool dude. He's fought in some organizations that I've fought in or at least been to. So I got to pull for him. But that's a good fight. I got Derek Lewis round one. I just got to go for that because Verdum, he's been kind of up and down recently, but I think if it goes 3 rounds, I've got Verdum, but I'm hoping Derek Lewis. I think Verdum's time is done, but the heavyweight division's kind of open though, man. I'm like, you got Stipe. He was supposed to fight JD. No, he wasn't supposed to fight JDS. Who was supposed to fight JDS? I can't remember. Anyway, it's kind of open. There's not much talent coming up, but there's some young talent. And like who's that one Russian cat that they got someone in a Ezekiel choke? I've never seen that in my life without a gi on. It's interesting. But I'm gonna go with Derek Lewis. Jessica Eye, Paige Van Zandt. Oh shit, scrappers, dude. They are both scrappy as fuck. That's going to come down to the wire, man. Jessica Eye's got the experience. Paige Van Zandt's got that tenacity. And they're both tough as fuck. I'm going to go with... My heart says Paige Van Zandt, but my gut tells me Jessica Eye. So, I guess I'll say her, but that's going to be that could be fight of the night. I'd put my money on that one. Beneil Dariush, Evan Dunham. I got Evan Dunham. Dariush, he's up and down, but I mean, they're both talented. And I just like Evan Dunham, the way he fights. He's pretty grindy. He's tough. I think he'll grind out a decision. Will Brooks, Nick Lentz, good fight. Will Brooks, I feel like he's going to have a lot to offer in lightweight. I really do. Coming over, I think he's going to leave his mark in the UFC. And let's see. Bobby Green, Lando Venata being the opening of the prelim card. That's insane. That's going to... Bobby Green, he's that shit talker. He's very unorthodox, and he's again up and down. He's got a few good wins, but also a few losses in big fights. Venata, remember, he went and fought Ferguson and put him in a damn battle. And Ferguson's fighting the title, and that was his first fight in the UFC. So, he beat John McDessie with a wheel kick, and then he lost the decision to David Teemer, which, you know, it's fight of the night. He had a fight of the night with Ferguson, performance of the night, against, oh shit, who did I just say that he wheel kicked? I can't remember the dude's name. I just said it. Anyway, his 3 fights have been tough, and they've been good. And I've got him taking out Bobby Green. Bobby Green, he's shit talked a lot. I mean, he's good. He backs it up, but he's been on a 3-fight losing streak. You know, he beat Josh Thompson, Pat Healy, James Krause, Jacob Volkman. So those are big wins. Those are names that. But the last fight, Edson Barboza lost decision. Dustin Poirier KO punches. Magomedov split decision. So this is kind of do or die for him right now. He's got a lot against the ropes, back on the wall, but I see Venata just kind of. I think it's going to be flashy and exciting, but I think Venata is going to take this one. I think he'll finish it. I think he'll finish by strikes. Talis Slater's Brad Tavares, that's names you haven't heard in a while. I don't know how to. That one's just interesting to me. I don't have a take on it. It's just interesting they're fighting. But that's the key fights in 216. I did not realize how stacked that card was. UFC Fight Night Cerrone vs. Till, October 21st. Okay, fight card. Dude, I don't know if I'm going to know anybody on here. I know Jan Blachowicz. I don't remember how you say his last name. Fighting light heavyweight. He's fighting a guy named Devin Clark, who I've never seen fight. And the only other fight I know is Donald Cerrone, Darren Till. Well, they have an announced fight. Ooh, they got some good announced fights. Potentially, you could have Artem Lobov versus Andre Fili. I like Andre Fili, and like I said, he I haven't said anything yet, so I don't know why I said like I said, but he's had a good record, but he just kind of loses. He gets going with a win, and then he loses. Then he wins, then he loses. Then he wins. Then that's how his whole UFC career's been like that. Beat Jeremy Larson, lost to Max Holloway, which is unfortunate. He just fought a fucking world beater. Beats Felipe Arantes, loses to Pepe. Beats Benitez, loses to Yair Rodriguez. Again, another whirlwind of a fighter. Beats Hakran Diaz, loses to Calvin Kattar. Like, it's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So he's fighting Artem Lobov, who has been kind of the butt of a lot of jokes if you go on comments and YouTubes and all that stuff. And he didn't really offer much for me. He lost to Ryan Hall, who I can't stand to watch fight. Lost to Alex White, beat Chris Avila, beat Teruto Ishihara, and then lost to Cub Swanson, which Cub Swanson's a killer. But he doesn't really have the experience, I think. And I see Andre Fili getting a pretty solid, dominant win over him. Another fight, my favorite female fighter, Karolina Kowalkiewicz. She's fighting Jodie Esquibel. I don't know how you say her last name. I've seen her fight. I gotta go with Karolina. She's just got that heart. She's a sweetheart. She's got like I don't know. I love that girl. But she scraps, man. She's a fighter. She is good. I mean, that was kind of, redundant saying she's a fighter, but she scraps. So I gotta go with her. I will always go with her. I think she had an amazing fight with Joanna. And I would love to see that one again. So she's going to be on her way up, and I am excited to see her fight. I'm always excited. She lost to Jan Jacek, and then she lost to Gadelha, which is the two top fighters in that division. And the one with Jan Jacek was close. She got tapped out by Gadelha, but she beat Rose Namajunas, Randa Marcos, Heather Jo Clark. She's got the wins behind her. But that's that card. That's really all that card offers. Oh, Donald Cerrone, Darren Till. I don't know Darren Till. I know he's from England or Liverpool or somewhere in there. I know Liverpool's in England, but I don't know where. I couldn't tell you anything about him. He's got 4 wins in the UFC. He's got 3 wins and a draw. But I don't know any of these people. And he's missed weight in the past. So I think Donald Cerrone's doing his typical thing. He's a cowboy, fights whoever. And it's a risk to reward thing. There's actually not much reward because no one knows who this guy is. So it's a big, big risk. But, that's how he fights. That's how he stays fresh. He didn't take too much. Well, he didn't take too much damage. He's given himself time to rest that he actually needed. And Darren Till, he's in a not as big a situation, but like a Matt Serra GSP situation. You have so much to prove. You have nothing to prove, really. You just got to go out there. If you win, you shock everybody, and your name's in the ranks. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I like underdog stories, so I'm gonna have to take Cerrone, especially since it's 5 rounds. But it'd be cool to see someone pull it off. I like to see people do that. But I like Cerrone. So, all right, the next card and the last card in October, because I can't wait to get into the November fight cards. Because Bisping St. Pierre, I'm just so excited for Garbrandt Dillashaw, to be honest with you. But can't get there yet. So the last card in October is on October 28th. It is Brunson versus Machida. So you got Lyoto Machida, Derek Brunson, Damian Maia, Colby Covington, Jared Brooks fighting an unknown guy. Thiago Santos, Rob Fauner fighting. Not each other, obviously. Let's see what announced. Jim Miller. Okay, an announced bout, I guess, isn't happening, or maybe it is, I don't know. Jim Miller, Francisco Trinaldo, my apologies. That'd be a good fight. I see Jim Miller just grinding him out. I hope that fight happens. I love watching Jim Miller fight. He's just dirty. But I'll do the main and the co-main. Colby Covington, Damian Maia. Damian Maia coming off that lackluster performance against Woodley. Colby Covington, he's a wrestler. Got good, pretty solid boxing. He's, he beat Dong Young Kim, Brian Barberena, who beat Sage Northcutt, which, I'm from the Houston scene. I know Sage. I've talked to him a few times. I know him all right. Not the biggest fan in the world, but I'm not a hater. I like to see people do good. But Brian Barberena beat him, beat Max Griffin. He's only lost once in the UFC. Beat Mike Pyle. That's a crafty veteran. But his last fight beat Dong Young Kim. So he's got that going for him. And he's a good wrestler, good striker. But Damian Maia, when he gets a hold of you, it's a different animal. But I don't necessarily like watching him fight too much. But my mind says Damian Maia should win that fight. But my gut's telling me that Colby's going to pull it off. So we'll see. But Damian Maia is definitely a more technical, better fighter. And Colby, he's just a young guy. But the way Damian fights, age doesn't matter. He's not taking a lot of beatings. He's not taking a lot of trauma. So he's still young, even though he's older. He's got that experience, but he's still got the ability and the talent. Colby, he's a young guy. I see him doing pretty well. I'm gonna go with Colby. I don't know, my gut's telling me. Now, Derek Brunson, Lyoto Machida. That's a fun one. Lyoto, he's been out for a bit. Let's see. Let's take a look at his record. I'm trying to remember who he's fought recently. Lost to Romero, lost to Rockhold, beat CB Dalloway, lost to Weidman, beat Gegard, beat Munoz, lost to Phil Davis, beat Henderson. All right, now we're John Jones. Okay, so he's coming off 2 losses. Not bad opponents. Luke Rockhold beat him by choke. Yoel Romero KO'd him with elbows, which shit happens. These are 2 losses. But he just hasn't been the same, Since Weidman beat him, he's just kind of been off. And I remember when he's coming up, the Machida era, then Shogun lost a really close decision, kind of a controversial call, then beat him. And then after that, Lyoto's kind of been on his way up, and then fought Weidman, and he didn't do too hot. And ever since then, he's just kind of been off. But he also fought Luke Rockhold, hey, could you guess if that fucking bird just decided to come back in the middle of this episode? Because it was gone the whole day. It was literally gone. And then now it's like, I'm fucking back, dude. You want me to be featured in your episode again? I love it. I love being in your show in the background so annoyingly, and that's all you can fucking make out. But fuck that bird. I hate that bird. I hate it. He's a fucking hater. He's a cocksucker. So I'm going to wrap this up quick so you don't have to sit dealing with that thing. And luckily, it's the last fucking fight. Okay, so Lyoto's been kind of off. Derek Brunson, he is... I think he's got a good future. I know that he lost to Whitaker and lost to Anderson, but shit, you lost to Whitaker and lost to Anderson. Like, you beat Uriah Hall, beat Sam Alvey, beat Ed Herman, beat Lorenz Larkin, lost to Yoel Romero, beat Chris Lieben. He's got good wins, and he's still a young dude. So I see him having a really good future, and I think he's going to overpower Lyoto with just being younger. Leota's been out long, came off 2 losses. I see Derek Brunson getting it done via KO. And that's my picks on the fights. Discuss it with me. Let me know what you think about the fights. Tell me what cards you're excited for, what fights you think is going to happen. If you disagree with mine, let me know. I'll put my picks up for the cards on my website whenever the card is actually near. And, find me on Kick, Scott's Thoughts, Instagram, Scott's Thoughts Podcast, Snapchat, Scott's Thoughts, but it's spelled THOTS. Fuck that bird. Yeah, so that's my thing. Stay healthy with your 3-week challenge. It's only 21 days. Y'all are doing well. I'm proud. So, again, thanks for the support. Thank you for everything. And is that bird really gone now that I'm wrapping it up? Nope, still there. Good to know. Okay, so I will post all my thoughts on the fight cards as they approach, and just, keep me updated on how you're doing. But my thoughts, those are my thoughts.